I've been too scared to ask this question because I didn't want to get hate, but then I realized the hate would only come.
I think this is a very fair question. Why do luxury, like we're talking AP, Vacheron, even Patek, watches have such terrible specs in their sports models? And I actually think that this comes from a misunderstanding and this is completely my opinion and my understanding, especially when it comes to the sport models of these watches. They're not saying that these watches are good to go out and do sport in them, like go out and swim in the ocean and things like that. It's the design language they're referring to. These watches are based off of the original models that could do those types of things, but now these watch brands have transcended, gone above and beyond to these other levels where it's about the art. So imagine yourself wearing, this is a very bad example, but you're wearing a Van Gogh on your wrist, right? The time that it takes an individual at one of these companies, especially Vacheron Constantin, let's talk about the enamelers, the individuals who do the finishing, the Coste de Genève, all of that kind of stuff. They're doing like the most menial things for years before they're allowed to finally start doing that stuff that they've been training for on these watches. That's such a huge investment of time, energy, and money, and that's reflected in the prices of these watches. And so you're paying for the artistry, you're paying for that piece of art on your wrist, and it would be kind of silly to take a piece of art like that into the ocean. This is a Vacheron Constantin that's currently on my workbench. Sorry, I'm at the airport, if you can hear the announcements. And you can see the incredible perlage that's going on here. And the person that did this perlage and the person who does a lot of this artistry, they have these insane regiments, right? Where you have to like do a year of working on balance springs before you can actually work on a balance spring that's going to be inside of a watch. You have to have 2 years of practicing perlage before, you know what I mean? There's just so much time, energy, and artistry that goes into these that they're called sports models because they're designed to look that way, but they're pieces of art that have taken hundreds and thousands of hours of human investment to go into. So I think it's a fair question. If you are looking for something that does not have as much artistry and is using more machines for that finishing and stuff, and then that's where Rolex comes in. That's where the kind of that crossover takes place, where it's machine done, still as much artistry as you can without having it be a work of art. And even Rolex is starting to kind of transcend outside of that. And so now we have to look to Tudor to kind of pick up that baton, right? These watch brands are just elevating and elevating into a level of artistry and outside of a level of use because these watches are already obsolete as it is. I think it's a very fair question, something that I've also thought about, and that's my opinion.